Trade unions and employer organizations. So let's look at the definition of those two first. A trade union is an organized association of workers in a trade, a group of trades, a profession or industry, formed to protect and further their rights and interests. So a trade union is an association of workers. It's a group that is there to protect the rights and interests of those workers. An employer organization seeks to support its members' companies' interests in negotiating with trade unions and other governmental bodies. So an employer organization is also an organization or group that is there to protect the rights of employers, and they will negotiate with the trade unions. Those are just some examples of trade unions. You can, on the slideshow itself, click on those YouTube links and have a look. So employees, all workforce members, all labor, all employees, have the right to join a registered trade union of their choice, and employers have the right to join an employers organization. And this is because one of our rights in the South African Constitution is freedom of association. So we have the right to join a trade union if we're a worker and join an employer organization if we're an employer. Registered trade unions must have a proper constitution themselves, and it must be consistent with the Labour Relations Act and obviously the South African Constitution. And a trade union shouldn't be formed to evade any law or be affiliated to any political party. Registered trade unions can be part of a bargaining or statutory council. We'll look at bargaining councils in a little while, where wages and conditions of employment can be negotiated and made binding by law. You'll notice that often when you see industrial actions such as strikes taking place, they have been organized by the trade union, and we'll discuss strikes and different types of industrial actions at a later stage. But the majority of the time, it's because there are wage disputes or people are wanting increase in wages. An employer can deduct trade union membership fees from the salaries or wages of employees and pay these over to the union. By law, employees have the right to engage in union action provided certain conditions are complied with. And when we look at all the different types of industrial actions such as strikes, we look at how and when and what conditions you have to meet in order to take part in strikes legally. They also have the right to engage in union meetings at your workplace, and the employer may not stop this. So the main aim of a trade union is to engage in collective bargaining with employers on behalf of the members of the union, to advise and represent their members on conditions of service, grievances, disciplinary issues, and other labor relation issues. So basically, the trade union is there to support and protect workers, to make sure they are receiving fair treatment, to improve any conditions of service or employment, such as salaries, employee benefits, job security, physical work, safety in the workplace, etc. They're also there to assist and represent employees during disciplinary hearings and issues, to advise employees on labor relation issues. In other words, what are the procedures for retrenchment, promotion, etc. And to aim for industrial peace, even though they want to change or influence policies and decisions regarding labor influence issues, they still want to do this while achieving industrial peace. Employer organizations before I get to employer organizations, NEDLAC is the National Economic Development Labour Council for trade unions in South Africa, and that is through whom a trade union will work in order to implement laws regarding labour relations and labour. NEDLAC is allowed to intervene as a dispute resolution body if there is conflict between businesses, unions, government and the community. So NEDLAC, the National Economic Development and Labour Council.